Analysis of Gen Z college degree majors versus gender. Gen Z is allergic to making good decisions. Just like my fat uncle at an all-you-can-eat buffet, useless college degrees have been a topic of mainstream conversation for over 10 years. But that has not seemed to deter Gen Z and many millennials from continuing to pursue college majors that are notorious for not leading to a good paying job. I'm proud to be a math nerd who beats his meat to Excel data sheets. And since I get off on looking at numbers, I decided to treat myself to an erotic night of going through college graduation data, as well as analyzing online job postings to understand the kind of career that you can expect to have with different degree majors. What I found out was horrible and needs to be shared with the world. So just sit back, relax, turn down the lights, grab a bottle of lotion and your favorite butt plug, because you're in for a wild ride. We're going to figure out once and for all who is taking the biggest L in college, men or women. The bachelor's degree graduation statistics that I'm using are from the 2020 to 2021 academic year. That's the most recently published data on the topic as of the creation of this video. Also, I live in California, so I'm going to only use the Indeed online job postings from my home state. And we're going over degree majors in alphabetical order. First up is agriculture and natural resources degrees. Agriculture majors teach you stuff related to the growing and selling of plants. It's the perfect degree for all you aspiring drug dealers. Natural resource majors, on the other hand, teach stuff related to preserving wildlife and the environment. I call these the hippie tree hugger degrees. Decent paying jobs in agriculture tended to range from $60,000 to $100,000. Unfortunately, these jobs all required like 5 years of experience. Entry-level agriculture jobs tended to pay California's $16 minimum wage up to around $22 an hour if you're lucky. And a lot of these so-called entry-level jobs still required some kind of experience, doing out-of-the-ordinary things like driving and repairing a tractor. Getting an agriculture degree basically means working at least 5 years for near minimum wage. And once you've paid your dues and finally have the necessary years of experience to apply to the better paying jobs in this field, you'll still be making not so great money. $60,000 to $100,000 in California is nothing to get excited about. The job opportunities for a natural resource degree were a little bit better. Most entry-level jobs tended to pay at least $22 an hour. What was cool is that a few of the better paying jobs in this field only required a minimum of 1 or 2 years of experience. If you weren't a complete idiot in college that spent all their free time drinking, you could have probably clocked in that little bit of required experience doing extracurricular laboratory work or research with one of your professors. The downside of a natural resources degree is that they have low pay ceilings. Like 90% of the jobs that required at least 4 or 5 years experience only paid about $100,000 a year at best. The cost of living in California is so high that $100,000 here is only 1 or 2 steps above poverty. In summary, agriculture degrees are super trash, and natural resource degrees I would rate as only kind of trash to mediocre at best. Almost 42,000 people in 2020 to 2021 earned a bachelor's degree in one of these subjects. Women accounted for roughly 58% of them. So women are definitely taking the L here. Next up, we have architecture degrees. Basically, this major teaches you how to design a building that meets government standards. Do you remember those weird kids back in kindergarten that rather play with building blocks instead of action figures and Barbie dolls like normal humans? I'm pretty sure they're the people that grow up to be architects. Entry-level architects make pretty decent money. The extremely small number of job postings that explicitly stated that they were open to hiring new graduates tended to pay at minimum around $60,000. I noticed that there weren't many job postings for architects, and the jobs requiring at least 5 or 6 years of experience tended to only pay between $70,000 to a little under $100,000. The architect jobs that paid over $100,000 tended to require at least 10 years of experience. I would rate architecture degrees as mediocre at best. There was okay starting pay for the 2 or 3 job opportunities for brand new architects. But then you're going to need to work in the field for a century before you can even start applying to jobs that pay a little bit over $100,000. There were almost 9,300 people that earned an architecture degree. Almost 51% of those people were male. But since that is so close to 50-50, I'm going to give both men and women an L for majoring in this nonsense. Next up, we have what I like to call woke degrees. This group of college majors consist of area studies, ethnic studies, gender studies, and group studies. These degrees focus on the past and present of a specific location or demographic of people, and it's typically taught from the perspective of far-left liberal progressives. Basically, everything that's not white, straight, and male is an oppressed victim. As I expected, I could not find any job postings that required a woke degree except for a single ethnic studies teaching job at a community college. And that job required you have at least a master's degree. I'm guessing the pay is horrible because the job posting refused to show the position's salary range up front and is only providing 36 hours of work per week. In California, a full-time employee is defined as somebody that works at least 40 hours per week. The job did state that it offers health and dental insurance, which I was surprised to see. Usually part-time jobs don't provide benefits. I would rate this category of college degrees as being completely useless or the highest level of trash. There were almost 7,400 people that earned one of these nonsense degrees. Almost 75% of those people were female. That means women are definitely taking the L here. Next up are biological and biomedical science majors. The biological science degrees focus on the anatomy and physiology of plants, animals, and microscopic organisms. The biomedical science degrees are basically about applying science to create drugs and inventions to use in healthcare. 95% of the jobs for biological and biomedical science majors were some kind of laboratory worker. The remaining 5% of jobs consisted of working in a zoo or out in nature somewhere doing conservation work. The pay for these degrees are terrible. Entry-level jobs range from $1 above California's minimum wage up to $25 an hour if you're lucky. Almost all the jobs that require 1 or more years of experience pay less than $80,000 or $90,000. I noticed that you typically need to have a PhD to qualify for the few jobs that pay over $100,000. The exceptions to the $100,000 PhD rule were typically jobs where you supervise other people or are performing really complicated laboratory tasks that require some real brain power or problem solving. The work duties of most of these laboratory jobs can be summarized as just following someone else's orders and repetitively completing an already established set of instructions. In my opinion, the only way that you'll see a significant return from earning a biological or biomedical science degree is if you are using it as a stepping stone to get into medical school. Otherwise, expect to graduate from college and only earn $1 or $2 over minimum wage per hour for 1 or 2 years. Then, with that little bit of experience under your belt, you can now apply for jobs that at the most pay around $80,000. And if you want to make over $100,000, you'll need to go back to school for a higher level education, unless you're one of the few highly experienced bachelor's degree holders that manage to outcompete countless other people for the small handful of 6-figure jobs that don't require a PhD or master's degree. I would rate biological and biomedical science degrees as mediocre at best. Almost 131,500 people attained a bachelor's degree in these majors. Roughly 66% of those people were women, so I'm awarding them this L. Business majors are up next. There are so many wildly different specialized degrees that fall under the business major umbrella that this category is impossible for me to comprehensively cover in less than 1 hour. finance, accounting, marketing, supply chain management, economics, hospitality administration, health administration, and human resources are just some of the specialized degrees that fall under the business umbrella. However, since accounting and business management are the two most popular types of business degree, I'm going to use them as the representatives for the entire category. I've got to save time somehow. The accounting major boils down to teaching people how to be a soulless number puncher that records, classifies, and interprets financial transactions. The business management major basically teaches people how to hire, train, organize, and manage employees to accomplish business objectives. Accounting is very technical and teaches people hard skills. Business management is non-technical and focuses on soft skills. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out why accounting majors are better paid and much more in demand. However, both degree pathways led to pretty terrible paying jobs. Accountant jobs that required a minimum of 2 or 3 years of professional experience tended to pay between $65,000 to $75,000. In California, those are poverty wages. There were only a few accounting jobs that even came close to paying $100,000. Entry-level accounting jobs tended to pay between $40,000 to $60,000. There are fast food workers in California that make more money than this. Almost all a business management degree qualifies you for are sales jobs with fancy misleading job titles like management trainee or consultant. If you don't want to be a salesperson, save yourself the frustration of majoring in business management. You actually don't even need a college degree to do sales jobs. There's not an employer on the planet that would not hire a high-performing salesperson just because they don't have a degree. Almost every job posting that actually consisted of you managing some aspect of a business requires that you already have around 5 years of management experience. And honestly, if you already had that many years of successful management experience without a bachelor's degree, I don't think there's an employer on the planet that would not hire you. I'd rate business management degrees as super trash and accounting degrees as mediocre. If you're able to get into a top-ranked university, do internships, and make connections in order to become an investment banker, then majoring in business isn't so dumb. Anyways, there were almost 391,400 people that earned a business degree. Men accounted for 53% of them, so I have to award this L to the fellas. This is just part 1 of a long series. By the end of the series, I'll have covered every degree major. Make sure you subscribe to my channel so you don't miss it.